Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Hey everyone, Chandler here. So, I had originally said that I wasn't going to make a video like this, but I think there's so much misinformation going around about the prospects of a Season 3 for the Ghost and Molly McGee that somebody has to cut through the noise. And that someone is me. So, this is going to be a quick video summing up what we know and my educated guesses as to what's going on. And before I say anything else, please drop a like on this video and hit subscribe. Those two things will help boost this video in the algorithm, and this video needs to reach as many people as possible. First of all, yes, the title of the episode is The End. But Bill and Bob have been open about the prospects of a Season 3 for well over a year. Back in October of 2022, when episode titles got leaked, Bob tweeted from his account, that no longer exists because he left because Elon's awful, stating that the end doesn't necessarily mean the end. We're currently making Season 2 and it's coming out great. Will there be more after that? If lots and lots of people watch it when it debuts, yes. If not, no. By the way, this makes us like every other TV show ever. But of course, this didn't stop people who had already made up their minds that the show was done for. And in April, shortly after Season 2 came out, there was a press release talking about Disney Channel's 40th anniversary that mentioned shows like Saturdays and Secrets of Sulphur Springs, while not mentioning the Ghost and Molly McGee, which some people, once again, took to mean that the show was done for. Bob said, "And that means nothing. Relax." Fast forward to today, and we know that Saturdays and Secrets of Sulphur Springs didn't get renewed for another season. Which means, yep, that press release truly meant nothing. I think to get a better sense of how Disney actually feels about the show, we should take a step back and look at things like external content. External content meaning stuff outside of the actual show. Big City Greens is clearly the most popular show on Disney Channel right now, and this is backed up by how much they've done with it. A quick search for Big City Greens on Disney Plus gives you titles like Short Miss with Big City Greens, the NHL Big City Greens Classic, straight up Big City Greens Shorts, in addition to the Zombie-thon with Big City Greens. Oh, and Shortsgiving. I think they've done so much with Big City Greens because obviously it's popular and the cast is very easily available for stuff like this. Heck, sometimes they even show up in stuff for other shows.
And I hear you have an opening.
That's right, there is room for one more.
The Ghost and Molly McGee has gotten the usual chibi Tiny Tales, theme song takeover, and random ring shorts. Actually, I think it's important to stress how much of a big deal it is that this happened, because they actually got Corey Burton to voice the Ghost host like he does in Haunted Mansion Holiday at Disneyland, and Kat Gracida to reprise her role as Constance Hatchaway. And all of this was done in collaboration with Walt Disney Imagineering. That's a ton of work for a 4-minute short. Molly and Scratch also hosted a standard short special similar to the ones Big City Greens has done, and Molly is currently tied with Cricket and Tilly for most Chibiverse host appearances. That doesn't sound to me like a show that Disney would just quietly cancel. So this idea that some people have, that Disney's completely indifferent to the show's existence, is one that's not based in reality. Bill Motz frequently pops into the Molly McGee Discord server, which, by the way, you should totally join if you're a fan of the show. It's a lovely community. In August, he worked with us to coordinate an effort to get the show trending on Disney Plus to boost the chances of a third season. Yours truly actually helped promote that. It was a movement called Operation Inhapification. And of course, it's also worth noting that this was when nothing was getting announced when the strikes put Disney's PR on pause. I have a feeling that a renewal probably would have already been announced back in September or October, but the PR freeze stopped this from happening. And when the SAG-AFTRA strike finally ended in November, it wasn't just like flipping a light switch to turn everything back on instantly. They had to ramp stuff back up. And that brings us to now. The last 2 episodes of the season are set to premiere on Saturday, and a lot of fans are nervous that the end is, well, the end. But you know who's not saying that? Disney. They literally highlighted season finale. So why would they do this if there weren't plans to greenlight another season? For all that fans will complain about Disney not treating shows well, their flagship animated shows have all gotten a series finale that was marketed as such. Phineas and Ferb, Gravity Falls, Wander Over Yonder, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, DuckTales, Amphibia, The Owl House. I think Wander is especially worth taking a look at here because they were actually in the exact situation a lot of fans seem to think the Ghost and Molly McGee is in. Craig McCracken and his team wanted to make a third season of Wander Over Yonder, but the higher-ups said that they weren't interested in making more before Season 2 had even premiered. I'll repeat that. They wanted to make a Season 3. The Disney execs said no. Disney then marketed the finale of Season 2 as the series finale.
It's the series finale of Wander Over Yonder.
There wasn't some weird secrecy surrounding the fact that the show was over like there supposedly is for Molly. I think it's extremely telling that Wander's last episode was marketed as the series finale, while Molly McGee's Season 2 finale is just being marketed as the season finale. They have to know by now if they're planning on continuing the show or not, and the fact that they're not calling this the series finale can only lead me to believe that it's not the series finale. And I'm not even going to talk about Milo Murphy's Law here because that's a topic for an entirely different video, but that has no bearing on this at all. But the other thing people have been freaking out about is the production aspect, because most of the crew moved on to other jobs since mainline production on the season wrapped over a year ago. Bill and Bob have already said that if Season 3 happens, they'll do everything they can to get people back. And while we'll obviously have to wait a fair amount for Season 3, I don't think it'll actually be as long as some people think. Phineas and Ferb Seasons 5 and 6 were announced on January 13th, which is an interesting coincidence, and the new Phineas and Ferb Writers Room officially started at the beginning of May, according to Dan Povenmire's TikTok. We're supposed to start seeing Season 5 of Phineas and Ferb this year. We don't know exactly when it's coming out yet, but that's still basically a year. Once a show's been developed, it doesn't take nearly as long to restart production if it's been paused as it does to develop something completely new. So I'm not saying that it's 100% confirmed that we're getting a Season 3, but I do think it's extremely likely that we are. We know that a third season was on the table, we know that things got delayed by the strikes, we know that the show is the second most popular Disney Channel show behind Big City Greens, we know it's been doing really well, and we know that Disney has gone out of their way to say that this is the season finale and not the series finale. I get why people are skeptical. I totally understand mentally preparing yourself for this to be the last episode of the show. Disney's made some less than smart decisions in the past, and they've burnt fans before. But this is still one of the network's current flagship shows. They've treated it very well, and again, there's literally no reason to not market an episode called The End as your series finale. Unless, of course, it's not actually your series finale. I think we all need to ask ourselves, what would Molly do?
She'd probably help her brother clean this wall.
She'd be optimistic about the future, and regardless, she'd also want to celebrate a show that she loves. A show that brought her joy. And I think that's what we all should do. Hey everyone, welcome to the outro. Once again, if you could drop a like on this video if you haven't already, and share it, that would be great. I was originally hoping to do a couple more videos about the Ghost and Molly McGee this month, and if everything goes according to plan, I do have one other thing I'm planning on making this week, but in addition to school, I want to put all my effort into finally getting the videos on ADHD and autism representation ready, because that should be coming out at some point in February. And I've admittedly been really bad about having videos available for Patreon a full week early because of time constraints, but I promise that the neurodivergent representation video, or videos, I haven't decided if it's going to be one part or two, will be available to all of my patrons a full week early. So if you like my videos and want to help me out, just $1 a month gets you your name in the credits and access to every video I make, usually 1 week early. I also want to know, what's your favorite thing about the Ghost and Molly McGee? Let me know in the comments, I want to get a discussion going. And above all, thanks for watching.